Hi guys, in this video I'm going to show you how to make like a choker for around your neck for a flower to actually sit on. One of the little guys that I work with, Josh, asked me to show him how to do this. We have already gone and made our flower, which you can see on another video. So I'm literally going to roll the flower around and I will sew it together and create a little band on the back of it to hold it in place, and I will sew it up. I'll just show you here what it looks like. That's the flower. So what I do is I hold it in place here. I have my piece of yarn here. I'm just going to sew it into place. So I have my darning needle, and what I'm going to do is sew it, just gently catch it here to hold it into place. Now you'll have to excuse me because I have a chest infection, so if my voice goes a little wonky, just bear with me. And then you just go through your flower until you get to the opposite side and bring your needle through. Don't tighten it too much, because if you do, it'll be very hard. It'll pull your flower, and you won't be able to do anything with it. Now I'm just going to leave that one there for a minute. I have this piece here which I will just sew the rest of it together. As you can hear, my dog has jumped up on the bed beside me again, and he's looking out the window. So I literally just go through a few times back and forward just to make sure that it's all caught in. If you need to add another piece of yarn to it, don't worry, you can do that too. I don't think I left a piece long enough actually to continue to sew in all the pieces. So you can just add another little piece in. There's no problem there at all. So I'm just going to finish off here just to show you what it will look like. And then I am going to show you how to make the band for it to sit on. Just leave those two. What I'll do here is I'll just tie these two together just for the timing. I'll just tie these two together just to hold it into place. So you can see now that's the flower, what it looks like there for you. So what I did was I got a piece of yarn, and what I did was I put a knot on one side of it here. Listen, this knot here, see it there, that one. And then up here I have another knot, and what that is the thickness of my neck. So that's how I worked out. I need to know now, I'm going to do a chain the same length as what's in between the knots. So what I did was I put the yarn around my neck, tied a knot on one end, and then measured the piece that closes at the side. And then these two longer pieces I kept here were just for to tie the neck, the choker, to tie it together. Or else you could do a little bead, put a little bead on the end of it, which will actually look really, really nice when it's finished. So I'm going to go ahead now and I'm going to just set up my chain. So with this I'm using a 4mm hook, and I'm just going to chain as many as needed for the choker. As you can see, I've left about a 6-inch, maybe 7-inch, 8-inch tail. So I'm just going to go ahead here now and I'm going to crochet until I have enough chain that's going to go in between the two knots that I have from earlier on. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20, 21, 22, 23, 24, 25, 26, 27, 28, 29, 30. Now I'm just going to check. No, nowhere near 30. 31, 32, 33, 34, 35, 36, 37, 38, 39, 40, 41, 42, 43, 44, 45, 46, 47, 48. Try this one, see if this would be anywhere near it. No, I'd say probably about another 6 or 8 chains. 48, 49, 50, 51, 52, 53, 54. Let's see if we have enough in 54. That's just 54. So I'm going to just do one more to make it 55. So in the second chain from the hook, so that's the first one, this is the second one, I'm going to turn it over and I am going to work into the back loop here. See that it looks like a bump? I'm going to work into here and I'm going to do a half treble into each chain all the way down to the very end. So that's yarn over into the bump, which is there. So the bump is just the one piece, and the reason why I go into the bump for doing this is because it gives a nicer finish on the band, the choker that's going to be going around your neck, because it means you have a chain finish on both sides. So this is what I'm doing all the way down. So it's yarn over into the bump, yarn over, bring it through, yarn over, bring it through all three. So that's yarn over into the bump, and you go yarn over, bring it through, yarn over, bring it through all three, and you do this until you get to the very end. Oops. And just be careful that you don't actually split your wool. I know this way of doing it, it's actually a little bit slower, but it does give a lovely finish to any project that you're doing, be it a scarf or be it a strap on a bag. This can also be used for a little clutch bag or whatever else strap that you'd like to have. You can use it on a top. You could use it on a poncho to put through the poncho if you were doing a drawstring. It's actually lovely. So what I do is I do one row into the back like this, and then the next row it will just be into the chain that you can see, this chain here on top. So you can see here you have your chain there, and you also have a chain underneath. It just happens to give it a nicer finish. Okay, we will continue here, trying not to split our yarn. And I'd just like to say thank you to everybody who has subscribed. I reached my 500 subscribers and I was absolutely bowled over. I was blown away. And thank you all so much. And for all your lovely comments as well. I really appreciate them. So I had one lady ask me about trying to do dolls socks. Now I don't have anybody that has a doll. My boys are, I have 2 boys, I don't have any girls. So I will get in touch with one of my pals that has babas, and I'll try and work out a little pattern for little booties for a doll. So literally, as you can see what I mean by it's quite slow, all the way down to the very end. Oops. And you also have to be careful. Yep, here we go again. Not to split your wool. Oh gosh, just doesn't want to. Wants to split this. And you'll know when you split it because it's just really hard to actually get your crochet hook into it. Won't actually crochet properly for you. See, there we go again, splitting again. Now these flowers are actually lovely as well if you do them in different colours. Now the little guy in question, Josh, has a beautiful red rose that he's after doing a red flower, and the band that he's doing for the collar piece for around the neck is going to be green. So I just look, it's splitting again. Yeah, I had promised him last week I'd do it, but my voice is only just really coming back to normal now. There we go, nearly at the end. I can hear you saying. We had a beautiful day here today in Dublin. Okay. So, how many more have we got to do? Oof. A good few. I thought I was nearly finished. Whoops. Oh wow, look at that. Well, that was really bugged me. Sorry, I have to fix that. Nope, not happening. Didn't catch it all the way through. So, a lot of yarns do this. This is sort of like a baby cream yarn that I had. Okay, now we are down to the last one. Now, as you can see, the half treble. We're going to do one more row. So what we're going to do is we're going to chain one. We're going to turn our work. We're going to do yarn over into both chain. You see the chain here? Going into the chain, yarn over, bring it through, yarn over, bring it through. 2. So we're going into the chain space. So I will just do this one all the way down to the end. And what I want to show you then is the piece to do. It's like a slip stitch through the middle. And what the slip stitch through the middle actually does when you're finished, it firms up the band that you're working on, so it doesn't stretch. It just gives it a bit of structure. So I'm just going to do the half trebles all the way across here. So as you can see, it's much quicker doing it this way. Now you can just go in and do it the normal way, but I just think that this gives you a nicer finish, because you have your chain on both sides. Now I'll show you now when I'm finished this, which I nearly am. Okay, and we are going into, I'd say, the last maybe 10 half trebles. Yes, we are nearly there. Okay, so this is going to be the choker for flower. So into your last one. Don't forget to do that one. Okay, so now what you're going to do is your chain one. As you can see, you have the choker. If you did it in cotton, it would have a lovely finish on it. This wool is just cheap wool that I'm using at the moment. So what I do here is I slip stitch into here, into the middle of that. So I'm nearly in the middle of my work. Now you'll see at the top here, that's your chain, the underneath chain, and that's the other chain. So what we're going to do now is we are going to work. We're going to work through the top of your, put your hook through, right through it, bring your yarn over and bring it up. So literally it's a slip stitch. So you're going to go into every space that you have along where you joined, where you did your other chain, or your other half treble, should I say. And you literally do, you'll see it there, it's actually closing over. See the way you have the gaps here? So you're going to go into the gap. Your wool is underneath your work. Your wool is underneath all the time. So literally what you do is you grab the wool, bring it up through, and then bring it through there. And then you go into the next one, put your wool over, bring it up, and bring it through there. And believe it or not, doing this simple stitch, just slip stitching all the way across, gives it a more, it doesn't pull as much. If you see this side, look, it's much stretchier. This side, it doesn't. And it allows it, it gives it structure. So it doesn't, when you put the flower onto it, it isn't going to, it's not going to move and fall, and it's not going to pull it down. So literally that's all you do all the way across. You put your hook down through that, bring the wool over and bring it up through both of them. So you do that all the way. Oops, make sure you go into the middle because you don't want it to be crooked. So into the gap, wool over, bring it through. Into the gap, wool over, bring it through. Into the gap, wool over, bring it through, into the gap, wool over, bring it through. So it's literally just the slip stitch. It's nothing else, just the slip stitch. And what it does is it closes over the gap as well that you have in the middle, and it gives it a nicer finish. If you have excuse me, if you have different cottons, oh my voice is gone again. If you have different colour cottons or colour changing woolen cotton, this would be absolutely beautiful as well. You can do any colour combination, and it's a nice accessory to go with any outfit. You can put a pearl in between your flower, in the middle of the flower. You can use buttons, beads, whatever you want. You could do a glittery type of wool if you wanted to have some bling. So I'm just going to keep going to the very end, and I'll just show you what it will look like when it is finished. So nearly there. And then, oops, leave that over there. Pull that there. Just do your 2 chain. I always do 2 chain at the very end of my work. Now look at the size of this scissors, this bad boy. And I'm going to leave a good bit there. And then I pull my hook through, get your nail and pull it down. So you can see there where the chain has gone through. It's given it a nice effect, and it's closed over on the other side. It's closed over, it's made it nice and neat. So basically what I wanted to do with this now is to show you, this would be your flower. Now obviously you can actually sew the flower onto this, onto your choker. If you wanted to, you could sew the flower onto a particular place on your neck, and then you have your 2, you can actually put another string on this side. I just have these 2 here just for the time being. Sorry, wait till I just move this one over a bit. I'll just sew this over here onto this one, into the middle as well. So it's in the middle of this one. Okay. And make sure your yarns are cut the same length. There. So what you can do is just put the 2 pieces. I always fold my hook or my wool over and then put them through my darning needle. So what you're going to do is get the other side here, and in the middle bring it through. Make sure it's caught on the other piece that you have as well, and also make sure that it's going to be long enough that you can get it over your head, which you would be able to at this length. And then just for the time being, what I want you to do is just put a tiny little knot in it. Now you can put your bead in it there, and that'll actually stop it from going through. I just don't have a bead on me at the moment, do I? No, I don't have a button. So that's what it's going to look like with the I just got another piece of yarn here, and what I'm going to do is I'm just going to sew the flower onto it. So yarn through, wool through my, okay, so that would be the front. So say I want it here. So in the back of your work, just, you can two just in there for the time being, into the back of your work here, because you want that there. So just with your darning needle, just bring it through. What I normally do, I didn't do it that time, is I put a knot in the end of it. So what I do is I just put the wool around my finger like so, and then I roll it and then pull it into place, and you'll have a little knot here. And then what I normally do is I put my needle through the wool, and that actually holds it into place. So I'm going to just leave that there for the time being. So go in here and make sure you catch the flower. You don't want to just catch one or two pieces of it, and go through. Make sure you're going through. You can see there where I've gone through it there, and then just come up through the middle, and then go back down again and catch another piece of it, because you don't want it to be too loose, that your flower isn't going to be held in place. So any colour combo of these would be beautiful, and especially if you're quite conscious of your, some people can be quite conscious of their neck, or they want to just have an added little piece of, can be warm as well, use it in the winter, and it's just a lovely little accessory to have. You can never go wrong. And then just go back up and down through your work that you have here. Sew that up and down a few times, make sure it's inside, catch it, and finish off. So that is how you do your little choker. Now also, you can do exactly the same as this if you want. You can use this as a headband, and instead of having your wool at the back and put a bead on it here, you can actually put a piece of elastic, and you could have it as a beautiful little hairband for a kid, for a little darling. So that's what the choker would look like with the flower on it. And you can see that because the band is quite thick, your flower doesn't move that much. Now if that's on your neck, you see it's not going to move. So inside there you could put a lovely little pearl button if you wanted to. Now obviously I just did my flower and my band in the same colour, but if you could have a different colour flower, or you could even put smaller ones beside it. But that's just to give you a rough idea of what it would look like. So I hope you liked this video. Please subscribe and share. And thank you so much for watching. Bye.